This is the story of how I was laid off at 23. Quick disclaimer before I start is that I don't mean to throw any shade. I don't mean to burn any bridges or reveal anything. That's why I'm very vague with the entities I'm speaking on. Know that this is just my experience and that this is the way it is and this is how it happened for me, in hopes that it can bring some clarity or some comfort to someone else out listening. So yeah, let's get into the story. Hello. Hello everyone. My name's Haley. I feel like everyone that watches these videos or comes across this channel, know me very personally or have enjoyed, I guess, the SJSU segments, which I'm very glad. It's kind of cool even like a year out of school to still see that people benefit from things I've made, little Haley made. There's a lot I want to unpack with this video, obviously, but I'm hoping that it helps someone who's, on their way to graduate college and, it's a scary territory again of like jumping out of that institution that is kind of gives you security, granted the American schooling system. And it's your first time once, being out of it, if you made that initial decision to go to a university. I also hope this helps, people who might be in my current situation too with me, and knowing that you're not alone and that sometimes it can feel alone in regards to, I feel like on social media today, everyone's broadcasting about the end result. After you struggle, right? You're struggling, and then you don't share about until you reach that end point of, I made it out, so you can too. And that's great, but I think there's something important about documenting when you're in the thick of it, for so to speak. And then also, this is very much for me. I feel like I push down feelings in order to keep on moving forward. And sometimes that's not always healthy, right? So let me give you some context. Start from the beginning of when this all went down. So San Jose State, my time at San Jose State was amazing. I feel like it really was the university for me. Granted, not everyone has that shared experience, but for me as a person and just everything in my department, everything, I'm glad I went there, and financially speaking, just all of the pieces of the puzzle fit very well for my personality. So senior year, I made a video, if you really do want to watch, of where I'm mentally at, I think my sophomore year. So junior, senior year going well. I was so excited for my last semester at SJSU. I feel like I had a really great friend group. I was really happy with where I was at as a person, as a student, everything. And I'm very thankful for that time in my life. But March 2020, the infamous COVID-19 shelter in place hit the Bay Area, ironically on my birthday, and it was nuts. And so we got notice. I remember texting my dad that night, packing. I was like, oh, how long should I pack for? And he's like, oh, a month. Obviously everyone knows that month turned into seven for me. So is that right, math? 9 months of moving back home from San Jose, back to San Leandro with my parents and my siblings, and it was a full house yet again. And I think that was the first blow to my ego, was that it felt like I had regressed. I'd made all this progress at my time, away at SJ, and then going back to literally the physical place where I was 4 years ago in high school, it wasn't the most encouraging thing to go back to. And I love my family, and I don't regret the time that I'm so glad to have spent, with my brother, because he came back from school as well. And then also seeing my sister as, she's growing into the adult and beautiful woman she is today. So, there's always blessings in disguise, but I think my ego was so big of that, I need to get out of here. I need to do my own thing again. Where's my independence? Da 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 da. Right? So continued online schooling for my last semester through Zoom and the whole shebang. And then so May 2020, I was a part of the first graduating class in the pandemic. It was very bittersweet. There wasn't really anything to celebrate in my opinion. I worked really hard. I took a lot of grad pictures, so it was fun to see friends and everything, but it just didn't. It was missing something. It really was. One thing I'll speak on is that I wasn't very proactive in setting myself up success career wise. I was doing what I thought was the most, but was really the bare minimum. Just in regards to my department was really small, so it felt like I was doing a lot. Just I was very close with my professors. I was doing extracurricular work. I was doing extra projects, but in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't really setting myself up. I wish I had gotten an internship with an actual company as opposed to doing the program that my department had. And just, those are some things in hindsight, like I wish I did, but I didn't. And I'm still dealing with the ramifications of that because I'm still looking for a job. So yeah, I graduated in May, and then I was just working part-time back at home, just trying to make money, save up, just hang out. And then I think I was just so angry at everything, the situation, myself, my family, my decisions, just I was just such an angry person. And I felt like I really needed to get my independence back. I know it's as cheesy, cliche, irrelevant sounding, but it's what I felt like I needed to improve my mental health. And I convinced three of my closest sorority sisters to move out with me to the beautiful, amazing city of Newark, California. Not like there's anything super pressing here, but I convinced them. So, and it was the most central location because two of them, they have full-time jobs already at established locations, and then the other one, she is still a student. And so it felt like the most middle groundy, and I was the only one without an income moving out. I know, not the most financially smart decision, but I made sure that I had enough finances, like if I didn't get a job at all, like I could still live here. And I'm very thankful for having financial literacy in that capacity. So yeah, moved out January 2021, and my first job I got through a temp agency, which a mutual, so my acquaintance had put me in the temp agency database. I did a lot of interviews, I didn't really like anything. So I ended up settling as a receptionist at a metal company in Milpitas. And it was in person. It was really weird going back to in person while almost everyone was work from home. But their industry, can't really let them do that. I was there from January 2021 to April 2021. And it was such a unique experience, and the biggest takeaway that I have is that work-life culture is super big. At the company, I really felt like Pam from The Office, just both as the role, but both as like the people. And it just goes to show it really is important about who you work with, and obviously that's hard to gauge from an interview, but I'm very thankful for my time there. It taught me a lot about more about work-life etiquette as well. Yeah, just the whole shebang and reporting up, and yeah, it was cool. The next crazy turn of events, which is getting more into the laid off story, was that we have a close family friend that my mom had reconnected with recently because of a baby shower and whatnot. So they had reconnected in person, and my mom, she's so supportive and always helping me network, even though, because it's I would say my weakest link is networking, but she was asking the family friend for advice because he's in the marketing industry, or has been for a while, and consulting. And so she encouraged me to message him and set up an informational interview, which those are so important, but I'm still so terrified setting those up and even just having them. Thankfully, like we go way back. He's known me since I was a fetus, right? We had a great conversation. I remember we hopped on a call. It was right after my shift at the reception job, and we were just talking for like an hour or two just about like his journey, his advice, and what I'm looking for, and how the next steps, like how can I get there. And it just so turned out that he had followed up with me the following day saying that there's a position open at the company he's currently at. It would be a 3 month, I think 4 month opportunity. And the need was because one of the employees was going on paternity leave. And it turned out that that baby shower was connected to the employee leaving. So, bada bing, bada boom, perfect timing. So I interviewed with the manager of that role, and I guess it went really well because I got hired within that week. And I said goodbye to all the people at the metal company. They were really, it was sweet because it was also kind of funny because once I told them that I was leaving, they like, oh, don't leave, da 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 da. They always want you when you're leaving. Anyways, besides the point, it was great. I really liked it. It was a role. So at the company, I was an associate project manager, something that I didn't think I wanted, but it was great. I feel like it was a really great fit. It was a combination of communications, curriculum planning, people management, event management, and also a little bit of design, CSS, HTML work, because that was what the actual product. It was a software, but it was really cool. It was a really cool company. Yeah, so I did that for about almost to the up to the end of my contract. The end of my contract was approaching, but my manager said he liked my work and that they were looking to hire me on full time. But I believe it was 2 weeks before my contract ended. My manager, one of my managers, he pings me on the side. He's like, "Hey, can you hop on a call really quick?" Which is actually very rare from him. It was a Friday morning. I was just in the zone. No one's really working on Friday, and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And I had a bad feeling in my stomach. I knew it was either gonna be commentary about the previous event that we had just hosted, or something else kind of off. And yeah, it turned out it was one of the two. It was the second one. It was a really awkward conversation, but he let me know that it was my last day, and I didn't know how to react at first. I was just like, oh, okay. Just so many thoughts running in my head because I think obviously I had an idea of where I wanted this company to fit in the grand scheme of my life, right? But when the plans, go out the window, it's like, all right, just shock, fear, sadness, because I really enjoyed my work at this company. So yeah, I was laid off a month ago, and it is in June, and now it is July. Yeah, so you might be wondering, what's next, right? That's the pressing question that everybody has, that I have. Yeah, so another blow to my ego, right? And now I have a new idea of what I think I want to be doing. And this role even opened up the power of things that I didn't think that I would fit well in, and how it did. Do I want to continue in this line of work? I don't know. Do I want to try something new? I don't know. Do I want to go back to wanting to be a creative? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I think that's been the most difficult thing, is sitting with the fact that I'm not sure. And because here in the Bay Area, I feel like what you do, right? What you do for work is kind of who you are. And people do make those quick judgment calls based on what you're doing for work. And I think that's why there's this sort of pressure that I have on myself to get, a sexy job, right? But I've gone back to part-time work, I'll be waiting tables just to make some money. And I'm just gonna, ride the rest of 2021 out with friends, and while they're still all here in the Bay Area, because, they have plans plans of their own, and it's hard. So if you're, unemployed or in a weird part in your life and your career journey, like myself, know you're not alone, and know that everything you see on LinkedIn is what it is. There's a lot of stuff that goes on besides the posts celebrating their success, right? There's work to get to success. So yeah, post-grad life. This is one way that it can go. So don't just study, keep networking, explore your options, You never know. And there's so many ways that you can make a living these days. It doesn't always have to be so linear, but I think for my personality, I kind of do want it to be linear for a couple years. So yeah, thank you for listening. No, you're not alone. Uh, yeah, thank you so much. Bye.